sequel to Ark Survival Evolved, Ark 2 will continue the epic survival sandbox game with some new characters and abilities. In this game, you wake up as a man named Santiago with no memory of how he ended up on a planet teeming with dinosaurs. You will have to slowly solve that mystery while taking care of more immediate needs, protecting your daughter Mika. The coolest part of Ark 2 is how much modding and customizing players can do as well. You can create all new weapons and creatures by utilizing the tools around you. Avoid dangerous creatures when you aren't feeling confident, but don't forget that you can tame some of them too. Dead Matter is another survival horror game that pits you, one of few survivors of a viral outbreak, against hordes of infected people. However, this upcoming game takes place in the Rockies of Canada. Calgary, Alberta is your home as countless people around you turn into rage-filled monsters. You have your choice between heading into the two towns that have everything you need for survival as well as a ton of infected people, or heading to the wilderness of the Rockies. Either choice will force you to be smart as you scour for resources and get ready for any attacks. The game takes great care in creating the details of the towns as well as the beautiful mountains you will be exploring. By the time winter rolls around, the infected may be the least of your worries. Wildmender is a spiritual game in which you will try to use arcane magic to revive the world one oasis at a time. In a hostile desert world full of wraiths, you will learn to utilize ancient magic to gather seeds and care for them. You will have to craft shelter for yourself against the weather by gathering resources. You can revive plant life and cater to it. Build irrigation systems to help your garden thrive. While the oases that you can create are very beautiful, you can also go on quests to rescue and learn from ancient gods. It will be up to you and up to 3 friends to bring the world back from a lifeless desert and shape it into a bountiful garden. Valheim did very well on Steam in 2021, despite the developing team being only 5 people. Because it was one of the top-earning games of 2021 on Steam, the developers have since hired some more people and will be launching an Xbox version of the game. Don't worry though, crossplay will be available. Valheim is a survival game that lets you explore the world of the Vikings according to Norse mythology. Build great halls and other shelters, scout for resources, and fight off the monstrous beasts of Norse mythology. There are multiple biomes, each with their own monsters and challenges. These biomes are also procedurally generated, so you can play as many times as you want. Also, don't worry too much about eating. If you do, great, you'll have bonus health. Not eating won't kill you though, so you are free to focus on the other aspects of the game. You go it alone or play with up to 10 people. There's a ton to do in this game, and you can play it on your PC right now. Forever Skies is a survival action game where you return to a version of Earth that has been destroyed by an ecological disaster. You will have to use science in order to survive long enough to repair the Earth piece by piece. Scavenging for resources will help you survive and create the tools you need to repair buildings as well as your airship. Speaking of, your airship is your customizable home and lab, so you will be able to make it completely yours. You will not be entirely alone on Earth, as there are still some creepy creatures lurking about. The biggest thing to fear may be the mysterious illness you have to find a cure for though. This single-player game will keep you busy for hours as you explore and study the world around you. The Lord of the Rings Return to Moria is a procedurally generated survival game that takes place in the 4th Age of Middle-earth. Moria is a dwarven realm where you can work solo or with friends to mine. Mine resources to craft better gear to mine more resources. The deeper down you go though, the more dangerous it will become. As you mine, the noise you make may wake a sleeping evil down in the shadowy depths. You and your friends may find yourselves battling to defend yourselves in this adventure game based on the world created by J.R.R. Tolkien. If someone dropped you in the Finnish wilderness, would you have what it takes to survive? Learning to survive in the wilderness of the Finnish forests as you search for your missing grandparents is one thing, but doing it while encountering the creatures from Finnish folklore is a whole other level. In Among the Trolls, you play an American who has come to visit your grandparents in a remote cabin in Finland, but when you arrive, you discover that they are missing. You will have to build shelter and forage for food while you look for food. That's all standard for a survival adventure game. What makes this game unique is that you will be reconnecting with your past, your heritage, and the magic of the forest around you as you do it. There's so much to learn about Finnish folklore and shamanistic magic that you may find yourself spending hours amongst the trolls. Maybe this game will hit a little too close to home for some people, but Rooted is a post-apocalyptic survival game where you are one of the few survivors of a bacteriological warfare event. The world as you knew it is now gone, but nature has been slowly taking it back. While the cities are still unsafe without protective equipment, the overgrown areas are safe again. You will get to choose where you build your base, but you will still end up exploring the wreckage of urban areas for supplies. From animals to drones, there is a lot of danger in the world around you, so you will have to be smart and stealthy. You also don't have to play alone. Cooperative multiplayer will be an option anytime in the game. In a world heavily inspired by Slavic folklore, you will try to lead your people into the Forbidden Lands. Gord is a survival and strategy RPG that drives home the message that we are all in this together. As you move your tribe of the Dawn into more dangerous lands, their individual experiences during side quests will shape their personalities and well-being. If their loved ones die or they encounter a horrible creature along the way, it can impact their sanity, and they may leave you. The continued community is your goal moving forward, so do your best to manage the terrible scenarios that will come your way. In fact, these scenarios are customizable by you. You get to pick everything from the setting, the weather severity, the objective, the creatures, and how difficult it will be. Setting a challenge for yourself to overcome is part of the reward. The folklore and level of detail make this game look like hours of fun, and because of how much of it is procedurally generated, there is the potential to play over and over again. For a survival experience that is equal parts dangerous and beautiful, keep an eye out for Nightingale. You play as an explorer who ends up cut off from our human world when the portal system collapses. Stuck in a labyrinth of Fey realms, you are looking to find the city of Nightingale to reconnect with humanity again. The worlds in this game are gorgeous. Plus, you will be traversing a variety of environments from swamps and jungles to deserts, so there's always something new to see. While moving between realms, you will have to do the survival game classics, like gathering supplies to build shelters and weapons. Even cooking will be a factor for you. But it isn't all a fairy dream world. There are some creepy looking creatures that walk the realms as well, and you will have to create weapons to take them down to survive. Road to Vostok is still being made, but the WIP videos on the game's official website are very promising. This is a hardcore single-player game that takes place in the border zone between Russia and Finland. The post-apocalyptic setting is detailed using inspiration from real abandoned places to give it that extra bit of authenticity. The weapons are hardcore and very detailed. You can watch a WIP video of the different guns at your disposal at a shooting range. There will be looting for ammo and food and enemies to take down. Road to Vostok is being handmade by an ex-military game developer with over 10 years of experience, and it already looks very smooth. Honeycomb is an exciting new survival sandbox game for all of the budding mad scientists out there. You play a bioengineer on a new planet with the goal to find cures to save Earth. On this new planet, you will have to pull on your research pants. Set up and decorate your lab before heading out on a research expedition. You will have to study the plants and animals of the planet by experimenting with their genes. You will also encounter new diseases that you'll have to cure to save yourself. The animals may be friendly or they may try to kill you, and finding out which is the fun part. This is a first-person, single-player game that lets you play around with the genetics of alien plants and animals on a distant planet. The sci-fi premise is enough to sell some, but the exploration aspect is another strong selling point. You'll be able to build multiple labs and habitats and use a hoverboard to travel between them. Plus, you will have to figure out how to keep yourself alive long enough to save the world. The Forest from Night Games was a survival title as players were stuck in the woods looking for a means of escape. It was a mixture of survival and the constant threat of hostile enemies that left fans enjoying the game. There are still players discovering this title today. Now a new sequel is in the works called Sons of the Forest. Players are seemingly taking a trek back into the woods as a means to hunt down the supernatural elements that lurk within it. From what we can tell so far, there is more emphasis on survival, with the player having to gather various resources such as cutting down trees. That's added on top of the hostile enemies lurking within the woods. You'll find that they can attack you and destroy your fortified base, which means all that hard work might have to be completely redone before nightfall hits.
Get down, son!
Yet, we survived.
Frostpunk 2 will continue where the original, brutal game ended. While still dealing with a world-ending perpetual winter, humanity has gathered in a few select cities around heating centers. Steam may have been the name of the game last time, but now the citizens have their eyes set on oil. As you rise up to make this last civilization work, you will be forced to make some severe choices in the name of survival. This game will test your mental and physical fortitude as a city building, strategy, and management simulator rolled into one. Figuring out food, shelter, and just general human order will make sure you have your hands full.
Not them that brought us this far.
The zombie apocalypse may be the pinnacle of survival horror, and the State of Decay franchise does it in a unique way. For these survival horror games, you play a character who is searching for resources and other survivors in an open-world setting riddled with zombies. Instead of battling hordes of the Walking Dead, though, a major component of these games is stealth. You will try to avoid the zombies rather than slaying them. Of course, you will still be able to defend yourself if you do come across them. Adding to the weirdness, humans are not the only zombies. Animals can be affected too. We have come to the end of our video. I hope you liked this list we prepared for you. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and like the video. Bye for now, see you in our next video.